suffering from a major head cold, so I may go a little easy on you today.
It's good. I don't wish a cold on you, but I'll take the benefit.
Last December, we passed a visa waiver program bill out of my committee, marked up. It passed overwhelmingly. It was designed to keep foreign fighters from exploiting the visa waiver program from certain countries like Iraq, Syria, Sudan, and Iran. And in the negotiations, and I was in the middle of those, I was one of the national security chairmen involved with the correspondence back and forth between Homeland, State Department, and the White House. We carved out two exceptions. One was national security, and the other one was law enforcement. In the exchange between the Department of Homeland Security, they mentioned what we consider humanitarian, business purposes, cultural, journalistic. I was in the room with the majority leader. Those exceptions were rejected. DHS came back again, and the final email from the White House was that the administration supports this legislation. My thanks to all. And then finally, the White House says, I spoke to State Department. They did not request any additional edits. The administration does not request any changes at this time. We're good with the text as drafted. Reopening the bill would require us to look at it again. Yet the day after it passed, you wrote a letter to the Iranian foreign minister stating that parts of this law could be waived to accommodate Iranian business interests. In my judgment, having played a part in that negotiation, it was in direct contradiction with the intent and the clear definition of the statute and the law. It seems to me you're putting the business interest of Iran over the security interest of the United States, and quite frankly, either misconstruing or rewriting the very law that we passed overwhelmingly by the Congress. I want to give you the opportunity to respond to that.
No, I really appreciate it, Congressman McCaul. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the work we've done to try to work through this. Look, we respect, obviously, the congressional intent. We respect the purpose of this. We all share that goal. We have to protect the country. We have to have adequate control over who's coming into the country. And we learned, obviously, in the course of the K visa situation that there's more that could be done conceivably to be able to analyze and dig into background. But the bottom line is this. The letter that I wrote to the Iranian foreign minister was not an excuse for anything. It simply said that they were arguing that we had violated JCPOA. And I wrote a letter saying, no, it does not violate JCPOA. It explained and defended the law, and it made clear to them that we were going to keep our JCPOA commitments. What we're doing is actually following the letter of the law. But you have to, I please would like you to understand that our friends, our allies, French, Germans, British, others, are deeply concerned about the impact of this law inadvertent on their citizens. They have dual nationals. And if one of those dual nationals just travels to Iran, all of a sudden, and they are in a visa waiver program, and they're a very legitimate business person, all of a sudden that person's ability.
If I could just my time, I mean, look, I wrote the law.
Let me just finish.
I'm the author of the bill. I understand the intent of the law. We had conversations with the White House. You tried to get this business exemption written into the law. That was rejected by the leadership and the Congress. And the time to have changed that was prior to the President signing it into law. But once the President signed it into law, you can't just go back and either violate or rewrite it. I know the law. I marked it up out of my committee. And you're talking to the author of the bill.
Yeah.
That was not the intent of Congress to carve out a business exemption. And I understand.
We're not carving
the French
out a wholesale.
And the Iranians and all this stuff. But that was not the intent of the Congress.
Look, Mr. Chairman, we're not carving out a wholesale waiver intent. It's a case-by-case basis, very carefully and narrowly tailored, number one. Number two, the text of the law is clear. The Secretary of Homeland Security
I agree with you.
Can waive the travel or dual nationality restrictions if he deems that it is in the law enforcement or national security interests of the country to do so. Now, we believe the full and fair implementation of the law is, in fact, in our national security interest. We have a very thorough, systematic
I guess it depends on how you define national security interest. I will commend Jay Johnson called me to add Libya, Somalia, and Yemen to this list, and I
concurred in that.
And I commend that decision. I'm sure you're going to construe the law in your interpretation. I do think adding those 3 countries was a positive step. Just one last question on the designation of Iran as a jurisdiction of primary money laundering concern. Do you have? Are we going to keep that designation, or is there any attempt by you to lift that designation?
We've had no such determination. I haven't contemplated it.
Do you intend to consider additional measures to provide economic relief to Iran to lift any other designations?
None at this point in time that I know of.
Okay. I appreciate that. Chair now recognizes Brad Sherman of California.